Yeah, that's you. Hello everybody and welcome to Crochet, a Canadian crochet podcast. I'm your hostess Claudia. Thank you so much for joining me. I herald from the base of the Rocky Mountains in southern Alberta, Canada, and I love to crochet. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today we're going to get started with things that I finished, then we'll do works in progress, then we'll have some other fun stuff and then some not so fun stuff and all of that. But I have put timestamps down in the description box below in case you want to skip over some parts or just want to see a particular thing, so you can do that. If you like these kind of videos, make sure you give me a thumbs up, and you can also hit the subscribe button so you know when I upload my next episodes. Let's get started. I think I thanked you like 6 times for joining me, but you know, I really appreciate that you're showing up here. It's great, it's great. So starting with my finished items today is, ta-da! We'll start with this first. This is my upside down. I finished my Dreamcatcher cardigan with my own modifications. It has sleeves, it has a bit of a collar, it's got all of the good stuff. So one crappy thing about this is I ran out of this yarn here. This was the Michaels brand Craftsmart? No, that doesn't sound right. It wasn't Craftsmart. It was Loops and Threads, I think. Something like that. Anyway. They're super wash merino, so I had several balls of this, but it wasn't actually quite enough. This ended up taking way more than I thought it was going to, and I actually wish I probably had 3 more balls of it, but that's okay. Live and learn. We know what to do next time. The pattern originally called for a bulky yarn, and this was a size 3 yarn, I believe, and I used a 3.5mm hook to make it, and I also modified this. So yeah, I used, I don't know if you can tell on camera, hopefully, this yarn is different than this. So this yarn is the Karen Cozy, no, not Cozy, Soft Heart, something like that. It's soft and shiny. Oh, that's what it's called. Okay, sorry. I don't have the label for that one because I tossed it out almost immediately, but I don't like this yarn at all. I don't like it. I picked it because it was a similar color to the gray that was the Superwash Merino, but obviously because it's shiny, it has a different sheen. It's a little bit yellower than the Superwash Merino, but it was a similar size, and that also was a reason that I took it. But I'm not sure if you can see this. So I have washed this once. Oh yeah, you can totally see it. So washed this once under the same conditions because they're attached to one another. But look at how this yarn has fared versus this. This has stayed together. It has a tiny, tiny bit of halo on it. I'm not sure. Can you see if I put it maybe like that? But this, it's just, ugh, yeah. So if I ever do this pattern again, which I probably will because I did like doing it, I will be using a different yarn completely. I think I would go for something else that is Superwash Merino because I absolutely love how this turned out. There were a couple of spots here. Yeah, I can see right there. The yarn was really funny. It had like, it pulled and pilled in a couple of spots in the ball, which that was no fault of mine. And it was only the one place that did it. It didn't do anywhere else. But all of that being said, I do like love how this turned out. The back panel looks so pretty. It washed really, really well. It fits pretty good. It's a little bit small because, and I'll try it on here for you and I'll show you that. So it's small because you're supposed to have your sleeves. This is also a little bit small here, the collar, but okay, so you wear it like this, which is fine. But yeah, the sleeves, you're actually supposed to have this part down to about here on your wrist, and then this should be folded up. But because I was running out of yarn big time, I had to stop it. So I mean, I guess I could wear it like that, but I don't really need to. But I just leave the sleeves all the way down. So what I did for this was through the 3rd loop of a half double crochet, I did that repeatedly so the inside matches the outside, and then I did This one is front post, back post, double crochet to make the ribbing look like that. So the ribbings are different, but I like how it turned out. It's not itchy. I don't have sensitive skin though, so typically I don't have to worry about things being itchy most of the time. I'm sure I will come across something where I'm like, ugh, but today's not that day. Yeah, no, I highly recommend this pattern. It is Ned and Mimi Dreamcatcher Cardi. Details will be below and also on my Ravelry page and all of that good stuff. So yeah, like I would definitely make this again, and I might even do a different mandala pattern on the back. I don't know. I'm not sure. I didn't do the one that they follow or that they had in the pattern, but I really like this one. It's pretty. So pretty. Oh, it's so nice. I love how that part is my favorite, is the mandala. The second thing that I am finished is I am already finished for Cape-tober. No, Cape-tember. Sorry, not Cape-tober. My daughter asked me to make a cape, which I did discuss last time, and I will link the episode in the cards above or there. I forget where it goes, here or here, one of the two. So yeah, so I showed you, oh gosh, I didn't leave the stitch marker in because she already wanted to play with it. This has been done for quite a while already. This is her little cape. Oh, it has grass on it. She must have worn it outside. Okay, so this is her little cape, and I put some buttons on it. I put 2 different buttons and then a loop, and I kind of wish I had those like bone style toggles, but she doesn't like that look. So I went with some buttons that I actually got these from the dollar store, Dollar Tree, in our neighborhood, and they're wood, and they have it's kind of like shrink wrapped design on them, but the purple actually goes with the purple really well, and she really liked them. So I told her she could wear it more open if she puts it on the first button. So if she's out running and it needs to kind of like stream behind her, putting it on this button will leave it more open at the front, and then putting it on the second button will kind of cover her up a little bit better. I wonder if it will fit me. I'll try it on for you. So she absolutely loves it, and she gets all kinds of compliments about it, and she likes it because it's like a snuggie for her. So yeah, it's way too small for me. And I folded over the hood at the front because A, it was really big on her, and B, she wants it to be open. So I folded it and stitched it all the way around on the outside using a hidden seam stitch. At least I think, is that what it's called? I can't remember, but you can't see the thread or the yarn that I used to do that. And then yeah, so yeah, when she's running, you can put it first one like this, and then, you know, you can run and do your stuff, or for cozy time, close yourself up. And there's lots of overlap on the front. So she really does like this. This one I made using this is Craft Smart yarn in blush, amethyst, and gray, medium gray. I can't remember now exactly, but I didn't use a pattern. I just sort of winged it. I made basically a rectangle for the hood, and then I started doing, oh yeah, this is all made of half double crochet as well. Then I started to join some together to get it to go underneath the head a little bit here. Oh, this is inside out. Oh well, that's okay. So yeah, so it's square up to about here. Then I did half double crochet decreases to get it to go like this all the way down. And then I did half double crochet increases all the way around to get the capiness. So yes, she really, really likes it. I really wasn't sure about the stripiness to begin with. I was like, this is gonna look so weird when it's finished, but actually it's really, really pretty, and I like it. And I think it would also be cute if we did the stripes the other way, but yeah, I would recommend something like this. Cape's fun, easy. There's still a few days left in September. I'm not sure if you could, I mean, I guess if you're a really speedy crocheter and you're using really thick yarn, you could probably get one done before the end of September for Cape-tember. But this is my contribution to Cape-tember, and I'd like to thank my little bird for asking me to make this. Otherwise, I never would have been able to participate. So that is that. Today I'm drinking chai tea because I always drink chai tea in my fancy cup. Okay, let's move on to things I'm working on, and one thing I'm really sad about, so I'll leave that one to the end, but we'll do the happier ones first. So first thing, what should I, okay, we'll do this one first. I am still working on my Mighty mat. He was in last night and he was being kind of a jerk, which sounds weird, but the ducks can be jerks. So he has taken over our dog's one bed and he doesn't want anybody else. So he will bite the other ducks, the dogs, and sometimes us if he doesn't want us to come near. So this will be good to give to him, and then this is his. Last time I chatted with you, I was here, and you can see it made kind of a funny little wow right there, but I fixed that in the other ones. So I've got this far. I haven't worked on it very much this week. No, last week I worked on a little bit more. I finished the pink ball, and I have added, it's hard to see, it looks kind of white on camera, but it's a very light purple to this. So we are continuing on. I am using a 7mm, I believe. Let me check what the number is before I commit to this, or commit to the telling. Oh no, it's not 7, it's 8, I believe. Let me see. Yes, I'm using an 8mm clover hook, just kind of the standard, which I like the pointiness of the top because it's nicer to me than, do I have the boys? Oh yeah, this one here. Than like this one, because it's not that pointy on top. This one I find is a little bit more pointy, but it doesn't have like the throat that I like these guys. But it's easy to hang on to. It slides really nicely on the yarn, and I really, really like this. So that's why I have an 8 and a 9. The next thing that I am working on, oh yes. So I have, do you remember when I bought all of that sock yarn and I had tons of this color because no one wanted it? Well, I caked it all up. All of it's caked. I think I have 4 cakes, and I think it's 2 balls per cake. If I remember correctly, I think so, because I think I have 8 or bought 8. But I started a thing with it. So I'm making a blanket. Yes, another one. This one is for Ember, the puppy. Because, oh, she heard me say her name. She's coming. Because she needs her own blankie now because she's a big girl. And her birthday is on October 5th, so that's coming up really soon, and this isn't going to be done for then, obviously. And she's a dog, she doesn't understand when her birthday is, but I liked it because, to me, if Ember was sock yarn, this would be the color that she is. So it's like got the brown that she has, and the black, and this would be like the tan over her eyebrows, and she has white, and there's not silver in her yet, but one day there will be. But yeah, so I have started making that. I am using a double crochet V-stitch for this, where you do like half of the, well, for the previous leg, you do like half of a double crochet. No, you do the whole crochet chain. Then you do half of a double crochet for this one. And you take the 2 loops that are left, and then it's sort of like you add and subtract the stitches at the same time, which sounds really weird, but I like how the V's work out when I do it that way, instead of just doing 2 separate double crochets in there, because I find that it gets too much this way and not enough this way in the center, which that alleviates that, because I feel like it's much more even. If you can see, I don't know. I like it like that. So that's when I'm working on that. And I forget the colorway of this, but this is Loops and Threads Perfect Pair yarn. I want to say it has something to do with Tennessee or something like that, but I can't remember now what this color is, but this is what it looks like caked up. It's fun. I don't know. I like it. I don't know if I would like it as socks, but I like how it's working up with this. The next thing that I'm working on, and I would like your input on this part, please. So I hope you're still watching at this point. So I started making these adorable little squares. The light is kind of blowing these out. So this is a gold, well, like, I forget, it's a fingering weight yarn. I think it's 2. I am crocheting it with a 3.5 or 3.75mm hook. I have one on that I'm not finished yet. I've completed 2 so far. And they are in the style of the sunflower granny square. So typically in the center, this part here, this would be a darker color. And then this first set of like puffy stitches here is your second color. Like, so this would be typically like brown and then yellow and then a darker oranger color. Oh no, sorry, I got that backwards. You would have your dark brown in the center for the center of the sunflower. Then the next puffy bit, so these right here, if you can see them, that would be sort of like a redder brown or a lighter orangey brown, somewhere in between whatever the color you're going to use for the petals and the inside. So whatever would go that way. Alternately, you can do whatever colors you want. This is just, I'm just explaining so you have like a visual of why they're called sunflower granny square. Anyway, next is, then you have these other puff stitches. These ones are a little bit harder to see on camera. So yeah, that guy right there. They're this series of like the 5 sort of half double crochet, and then they all share the top, whereas the other one is like you just like keep yarning over and lifting. Anyway, and then you finish it off with like, typically I've seen with cream white, something like that. So, but I've just done them all in this one color. So that I have 3 colors of this yarn right now. I have this gold color, an off-white, and a blue. So I want to make, the reason I have a couple of these so far is I would like to make a little baggie to go in a purse that I'm getting for my birthday, which is also coming up, and we don't need to talk about that. And I know that I want to have it 6 on each side. So it'll be like another one here. So roughly like that, and then about that tall. So I have to make 12 of these. And the thing that I am asking is, I can do, and I want to keep them all the same, the color. I don't want to change colors because this is so fine and it just gets fiddly and I don't want to fiddle with it to put all the strings in. But what I'm looking for input is, should I do all solid gold, which I do really like, or would you recommend that I do some in all three colors? So I would have 4 of each color square and then sort of mix and match on the other sides. Let me know in the comments what you think about that. I can't decide, so I only have 3 so far, so I do need to hurry up and decide what I'm going to do. Otherwise I'll have a bunch of little squares that I don't need otherwise. But yeah, I'm really stuck on that, and I don't want to make them and then not use them, because I mean, like, they're cute, but then if I don't want them, I put them back in the ball and there's knots everywhere, right? So I want to avoid that as much as possible. So tell me what you think. So this is 2 side by side like this, and the blue and the cream color, so actually it's like a beige or grayish. Actually, I would say it's like a perfect grayish. They all go together. Like, the colors are not like, so gross. Do I have them around here? I don't even know. Let me check. Okay, here's the blue. I don't know, it's hard on camera, so that's the blue and the yellow together. And then, let's see if it's in this bag. Sometimes I just have stuff all over the place. I have a feeling I was going to make something else with this and then I got sidetracked. And then this is the beige, so I'll hold all 3 of them up together. Oh, if I can. Oh, shoot. I just dropped it on the ground. So this is the 3 together. So I'm asking, do I do all this color or do all of the colors together? Like, to me, it doesn't really matter, but I really can't decide. So I would like your input on that. And they would, all of the squares would be this same pattern. I wouldn't change up the pattern. So they'd all be like this. Oh, maybe or make it diamond shape. That would be fun too. Anyway, that's not important. So there's that. And then I have another thing that I'm also working on. I've been busy these past 3 weeks because it's been a long time since we chatted. I went to Michael's and I got myself, because they had a 30% off all the yarn, I got myself some of this. Oops, upside down. This is the Craft Smart Value yarn. I have used this color before. It is called Curry. I used it on a blanket, oh goodness, probably a year ago, something like that. And yeah, it's just a regular, there's fluff on this ball and it's stuck to my hand. Where was I? Oh, I know them. Yeah, this matches you too. It's just it's a number 4 worsted weight regular. I think it's worsted anyway. I think it's number 4. Oh, it's in medium for 5.5 millimeter. Oh my gosh, could you imagine a 5-meter hook? It'd be massive, absolutely massive. But I am using a 6.5 for it because I want this all flowy, but I am making myself another granny stripe open cardigan triangle poncho dealy thing for myself, because I like this color, and this is probably as yellow as I would go. I wouldn't go any more yellow than this, but I really like this color and I think it'll be good. I was hoping to get some other yarn for this that was wool or flax or something like that, but I couldn't find anything that I liked that also wasn't like $60, which I'm not going to pay that for this for myself, because not that I don't deserve nice things, but at the same time, I know how I am and I would wear this outside, and if it has any likelihood of getting stuff spilt on it or anything like that, I wouldn't want to ruin it. And if I had something that was that fancy and I didn't want to ruin it, I would never wear it, and then what's the point of having it? So I know that I will wear this and I like it. I like it a lot. Okay, I have, one more thing. Okay, this final one I am really sad about. So, and I also found the label so I can discuss with you. So do you remember I was talking about making the Earth Essence top? And the front panel turned out so pretty. Oh my gosh, yeah. So nice, and it's lovely. This yarn feels so good in my hands. This is the one that is part wool and part flax. So then I started on the second panel, and then I'm going, and I must have miscounted because it is way off. But then by the same token, it's way too small. By the same token, I have barely any yarn left. I am not going to be able to finish this. So I'm really bummed out about that because A, this is really hard to frog. And I don't know what I'm going to make with this yarn, because I mean, I bought it and I love it and I want to use it for something, but it's not going to work for this project that I intended it to be used on, which I'm really sad. So I don't know what to make with this. So there is that. But yes, I was cleaning out a bin and I found that the tag for this pretty yarn, this bluey, greeny, very lovely, mossy sort of color, fell down behind something. So I kept it in my, I have a basket or little bowl here that I used to keep my stitch markers in. So this is the label, Lazy Linen. It is, so it recommends a 2 to 3 millimeter hook. I think I was using a 3.5 on that while I was crocheting. It's 80% wool and 20% linen. It says to wash in warmish water. I'm going to iron it on low heat. There's a P with a circle, which in Canada, that means parking. So I don't know what that laundry label is, but don't dry and don't bleach, which is fine. I was not planning on doing that anyway. And the tag says for this, hard-wearing linen and insulating wool make this fully biodegradable yarn perfect for comfortable socks and refined garments. I don't want to make, I have tons of sock yarn. I don't want to make any more socks. Sustainably grown and harvested in Belgium, linen fiber adds durability and drape naturally undyed for a subtle hazy appearance and blended with soft pure wool for warmth and luxury. It is absolutely beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I'm keeping this label taped into one of my books somewhere so that I can find it later, because I absolutely love this yarn and I want to buy more of it. And yes, all natural sock yarn made with muslin free wool and Belgium linen. It's Crochet sole wool, but yeah, like you can see, I paid, it looks like 80. I tried to pull the sticker off. It was 30. I paid quite a bit for that. So that's also why I'm like, I need to find something to make. So if you have any suggestions for, I want to say it was, oh gosh, I want to say it's probably 100 grams. Like it's sock weight wool, but I don't know. If you have any suggestions, let me know. All right, I also went yarn shopping at my fun yarn store because I love them. Shout out, man. And I got yarn, obviously. So this is a sock yarn. I started making a sock, but the heel turned out really funny, so I have to take it out, and I just haven't done it yet. It is just this fun, like candy sort of colors. It's blue, pink, yellow, gray, white. It's all kinds of stuff. It's really, really fun, and I really like it. It feels really good, and it's nice and like squishy. So I enjoyed that. It is this here, Super Bamboo, Super Wash, Superba, sorry, not Super. And what are the details? It is a German wool. It calls for a 2 to 3 millimeter hook or needles, which I appreciated. The label included the hook. And it is 100 grams, 420 meters. It's 50% virgin wool, 25% polyamide, and 25% viscose. So this is wash in slightly warmer water than that other green top. No bleach, no dryer, low heat, dry, or iron, sorry. And then P with a circle again. I'm guessing that that's some kind of dry clean, but I don't know what it is. I wouldn't dry clean it. Yeah, so it is pretty. It's very, very pretty. I really like it. I like how the sock turned out other than the heel, but that's my mistake. That's not the yarn's fault. So I got that. And the next one that I got is another sock yarn. 2 of the same ball. And oh yes, I do have an idea for this. I'm going to make a top out of it, I think. I'm not, I don't know. Oh, I do love the color. Anyway, this is the yarn caked up. This is it still in the ball. I was going to cake both of them up, but I thought you guys might like to see how it comes on the ball, the skein anyway. This was, I was buy 2, get 1 free. So I think these were 40? No, that seems really high. I didn't pay $40 for this. So these are, again, like the socks that you can get for, there's technically a pair in each ball, but I'm not using it for that at all. There's a fun summertime top that I would like to make, and I think this would look fabulous on it. So it's Lang Yarns Swiss Lakes Super Socks Color Floor 4-ply Super Wash, and the color is called Lucerne. So I like that because we have Lucerne milk in Canada. Not that I drink that, we drink Dairyland. And the label is like this from the sleeve. So we have a little sheepy on it. It's got a QR code. It says $20 on here, but I really don't think that I did that. And one nice thing I saw also on here was that it gives you a bit of a guide on how many meters of yarn that you would need for making different sizes of socks. So that I thought was awesome, awesome, awesome. Oh, it says trace your yarn. This is something new I haven't seen before. I'm guessing that's what that QR code is, but I will check that out. This is wash, don't bleach. Oh, low dry in the washing machine, which is great, but I still wouldn't. Low iron in that P circle again. It is 75% virgin wool and 25%, I'm going to go with nylon because it says polyamide and all that, but that's different languages. Oh yeah, use detergent for fine wash without softener. I don't use fabric softener because it's not good for your washing machine. But yeah, so that is that. I'm excited to play with those to make my top, but see how that goes first. I think I have to do a bit of a swatch with that one because I'm really not sure how it will get going. But yeah. Okay, and then this second one here that I have, second, third, whatever I'm on, this millionth one. This was a bit of an impulse buy, and I thought the color was absolutely stunning. It is this really pretty turquoisey blue color, which it doesn't necessarily go with my coloring. I typically skew towards darker colors, but I felt like I couldn't pass this up because it's just so, oh my goodness, it's so. I want to say it's so. This yarn it is called the One Shot series. So these definitely, they are sisters. They are not twins. You can really see it on camera. In person, it's not nearly as noticeable. This one in person is A, lighter, and B, a bit more green than this one is showing up, but they're both really pretty. Whatever I make with this, I'm definitely going to go back and forth, switching the ball. With this, I had an idea for this and then I changed my mind and I'm going to make the top with this instead because I like these colors close to my face more than these ones. But still, these are gorgeous. So it is called Gathering Yarn. The harvest is here. It has a Canadian flag on it. We love that. And then the color is called Aqua on both of them. It's called Kids Sock Lace. So that would be a size 1 or 0, I think. I would say that this doesn't feel like a 0 because I have had yarn for shawls that has been thinner than this, and I used probably a 3mm hook on that. This I could get away with the 2.5 for sure. So yes, called Kid Sock Lace. It's 70% kid mohair, 30% nylon. It's 450 meters, 100 gram hank, and it's milled in Italy. So I mean, it's soft even like this. Maybe I'll just save these for sleeping on because it's like a pillow of happiness. I don't know. I don't know what to make with this at all. This was an impulse buy and I was like, I just really like this color. I could even hold them together. Then it's like intentional color mishap or whatever. And I knew that going in that these colors wouldn't be exactly the same. But yeah, they're just gorgeous. I just love them. They're so pretty and so soft and so lovely. So yeah, let me know in the comments. Do you have an idea what I can make with these? And please not socks. I have lots of sock yarn. I've got lots of socks on the go that I'm not showing you because some of them I'm like, ugh. But yeah, I'll just hang on to these for a while because it's nice. Something lacy, that would be gorgeous. I don't know. I'll figure something out, or you guys can help me. I love help. I love the collective hive mind. It makes my heart sing. Okay. I was looking to see if I had anything else, and so I found this, and then I feel like you'll appreciate this. So I was trying a new sock pattern. It was toe up, and I really like how the toe goes because it's like nice and like square like this. Toe up? Yeah, sorry. Toe up, sorry. Dear. So we start like that, and then I went through and did the foot, following all the pattern measurements and everything, and then I got to the heel gusset, and then I followed the pattern, but it got slanty. So if we fold the sock down flat, the heel gusset, I don't know if can you tell, like this part is over too far and then this part goes up too far. So like this whole thing needed to be moved over here. But I didn't realize that until I went to do this part of it, and it is all wonky. Like I guess I could probably still wear it. I'm going to try it on my foot while we're talking, but it feels so weird. Oh, it's a little bit tight. That's one thing I have to like figure out is my gauge of socks. So like it fits. I like the fit, and I like the width of the ankle on this one, and actually I really like how this feels. Maybe I will try it again. But this was just a tester sock, so I had no intentions of keeping it. And I like how the heel opening really feels on this as well. But yeah, now that I've done that, I think I would like the heel opening better if it was actually in the right spot, and I don't want to have to worry about putting my sock on and then like twisting it to get the heel in the right area, because that feels weird and I don't like that. I like my socks to feel uniform. But I mean, it turned out pretty good, like otherwise, and the pattern was really easy to follow. I was using the bee-hooked like ultimate sock that, you know, you will never use another one. One thing I think I would do is after you're done this part, you're supposed to start stitching like the cuff on already, but I don't think I want to do that for my next one, because this one I actually followed the instructions to a T. For the next one, I want to, and I'm as a learn by doer, you have to do that. Yeah, I think I would stitch it up. I like long socks. That's the thing. A lot of these recipes for socks are for shorty socks, which is fine. Like, you just add more rows, but I don't know. I'm just babbling here now at this point. So there you go. There's a sock that it's going to stay like that. It is. Ooh. Hi, so this angle is a little bit different than the angle you will be seeing before and after this, but I had to add this in secondarily because, there's my puppy, because I completely forgot that the beautiful Deja tagged me in a Family Feud style question tag, so I'm going to answer those now, and then I will tag some people and check your name. I will put it in the first comment who is tagged, because then that way, even if you don't watch this, you know that you're tagged. Oh, and the questions as well. Okay, so question number 1. Something you hate to find in your yarn. Because I live with animals. Poop. That's what I would say. Or cut ends that are not attached. That's something else. Something you do for your significant other when they buy you yarn. He doesn't buy me yarn, but he lets me buy myself yarn. So I just make what I like and say thank you. I'm a bad wife. Something to snack on while crocheting. Oh my goodness, I love salty food, so I eat a lot of chips, crackers, cheese sometimes, things like that. Although I will say, if I'm working on something for somebody, I don't eat or drink because I don't want to spill on it. But for stuff for me, sky's the limit. An item found in my yarn bag. Yarn. Something you drink while crocheting. Tea. I love tea. Something you watch while you're crocheting. Oh my goodness. So I typically will watch podcasts while I am crocheting. I also like to listen to true crime podcasts, things like that. I like to engage in things that require listening, not necessarily viewing. A sport you love to watch or play. Running? I don't watch it though. It's boring. But I like running. It's a sport, right? Name a fruit that isn't round. Banana. Name something you crochet for the holiday season that I celebrate. So in our house, we celebrate Christmas, and I crochet tree skirts for that. That was the last thing that I crocheted for it. All right, so remember, check the first comment that will be pinned under this video to see if you've been tagged. It's just, I found that that's a lot easier to do that, and the questions will also be listed there. So have fun and thank you. Back to regular scheduled programming. Now there's like fluff everywhere from this. Okay, now is the life part of the episode. So I was trying to remember why I missed last week, and I think it was because the kids didn't have school on Friday, so that threw my week off a little bit, and I was in at work on Monday. I don't know. I can't remember exactly. Like, something happened on Tuesday and Wednesday, and it completely prevented me from being able to record an episode. And also, like, Sunday and Monday. Well, Monday I was in the office. But on Sunday, something had happened as well that I had no time. And I remember, like, Wednesday morning, I was like, shoot, I'm going to have to get on this. And I was like, I don't have time. I don't have time this week. So because of that, that's happened a couple. Yeah, so I'm going to be talking about animals passing in the next section. So if you would just like to opt out of this part of the video, that's totally fine. If you're not in a place to handle that, I totally understand. It's a sad time and no hard feelings. Totally get it. Times this summer, I am going to make sure that I schedule recording episodes a little bit differently. I'll probably do them more in advance than I have been. Right now it's between it's like a day and 3 days in advance. I think maybe I will start like, if I can do it like Thursday, Friday, something like that, and then release them the following Wednesday. I don't know. I don't know how this is going to work out. But I have to just be more intentional about doing that, because I don't like when things sort of sneak up on me, and it sort of did this week. So yeah. And also in very sad news, and hopefully I won't cry through this. I'm not sure if you noticed, I had uploaded a really short video about a sad announcement that we had, is that our cat Kendo had passed away on Sunday night, Monday morning sometime. And we're all very sad about that. I'm trying to hold it in. I was not holding it in very well on Monday at all. So I had taken the day off from work because we had like a norovirus kind of going through the house, and we have a rhinovirus now. So my throat is actually like super scratchy and my nose is just plugged up, and I don't love how I sound. I don't love how I feel. There we go. It took this long. I've been eating Halls like crazy. It's just like everything feels really dry, which I don't like, and then just coughing randomly in the night and stuff like that. Yesterday, I can't remember, I think it was yesterday, it could have had a headache because I was upset, but I also could have had a headache from having my sinuses, like this one in particular, that area was really, really sore. So yeah, I didn't do a lot, but I had planned to take the day off because I'm not feeling well. And then I'm just kind of like laying in bed doing nothing. And my husband comes up and he said, I don't know how to tell you this. And I was like, oh shoot. I was like, somebody stole the car. That was my first thought, is that someone stole our car. And then he tells me that he went down into our basement, and on the landing, because we have a set, I think it's like 6 or 7 stairs and a little landing and then 4 more to go down, that he had found the kitty. And he was laying down like he was sleeping, and he had passed away. He was gone, which was really sad and really unexpected. Like he was 15 years old. So and we know that they don't live forever. And we knew that he was starting to slow down a bit. He wasn't as like jumpy as he used to be and things like that. But I would say it was like a slow grade, low decline in terms of age, because like some cats, I feel like you can really tell when it's their time to go. And actually that happened to my other cat that I had to put to sleep, is that he just one day he became like massively incontinent, and other than that though, he was fine, I guess, but he just urinating all over himself, all over everything, and then he's not washing himself either. So I knew that, but it was literally like one day he was fine, the next day he wasn't. And odd thing, right? I don't know. I feel like people will say they tell you when it's time, and I knew that it was coming. Like I had a feeling for a couple of months. I was like, I feel like this is like we're getting to the end here, but I don't think, even though you might know that, nothing can really prepare you for a pet's passing. And I do understand that, you know, there are people who have lost loved ones, babies, you know, relatives, anything like that. And I know that the loss of a pet doesn't equal the loss of a human life. And my heart goes out to those people and their struggle. But this is my struggle right now. And I have other pets. I have the kids. You know, I've got a lot of things out and about and around in the house. But I'm still going to miss the presence of him. Oh, here we go. I'm trying really hard to I can feel it starting to come. I'm just gonna miss him, because lots of times he would go, I have my basket of yarn right beside my chair here, and I would open it up and I'd find him in there sleeping, or he'd be making a bed. And like this has been going on for, oh gosh, probably a year or two, like long before I don't think he was going in there to hide to pass away. The fact we found him where we did actually makes a lot of sense in terms of his passing. So yeah. So that has been a very sad time for us at our house, and we loved him. We loved his cat brother, but we are not planning on getting another cat probably ever. I don't actually really like cats. I liked our cats, and that's pretty much it, which sounds awful. And I'm not crapping on people that have cats and love them, because I know why people love their cats. I don't like other people's cats, I guess. Yeah, so no more kitties for us. All right, on that sad note, I leave you for the week. I will be back next Wednesday. I have been able to work it into my schedule that I can upload every Wednesday again. Yay! Also have content for that. As you can see, I had tons of stuff this week to go through, and I tried to go through as quickly as I could. But yeah, so we'll be back to regular scheduled programming starting, I guess, this week, and then next week I'll be back on with another episode. So I will see you guys all then. Thank you so much for everything. I love all of you. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. And I'll say thank you and sorry just because I can, because I'm Canadian. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.